The narrative begins on the brutal planet of Yachts, home to the Yahtza species. Their civilization is governed by a singular, merciless law: strength is the only currency. Respect is earned solely through prowess in combat, and weakness is a definitive death sentence. We are introduced to Dek, a young Yahtza, who is met at his cliffside home by his elder brother. The brother immediately initiates a vicious sparring session with laser swords. This is not hatred, but an act of protective love. The brother trains Dek relentlessly to ensure his survival. Dek, however, is consistently defeated. When urged to continue training, Dek flares up: "I don't need this. I am stronger than you know, but you and father are blind to it. I will prove my might by hunting the ultimate quarry. I will bring back the most powerful creature in the cosmos and raise father's name to glory." The brother's face clouds with fear. He names the prey, Kalizak, a cosmic behemoth whose capture or death is considered a suicidal, impossible feat, one that even their revered father failed to accomplish. Dek, embracing the deadly challenge, declares his resolve. At that moment, the father arrives, a figure of terrifying contempt. Seeing Dek, he is consumed by rage and demands his immediate execution, branding Dek a failure and a stain on the family honor. Dek's desperate promise of a great hunt only fuels the father's fury. Using energy restraints, he binds Dek and again commands the brother to deliver the killing blow. Torn, the brother draws his laser sword, but instead of striking Dek, he slices through the restraints. He shoves Dek into his personal spaceship and launches it toward Jina, the deadly planet rumored to harbor Kalizak. In brutal retaliation, the father severs the brother's hand. With his remaining limb, the brother activates the remote launch sequence. Dek watches, helpless and heartbroken, as his father executes his savior. The brother's final, defiant act is a testament to his faith in Dek. Dek's vessel crash lands on Jina. The planet's atmospheric pressure is so intense it shatters the cockpit glass, forcing Dek to make a narrow escape in a capsule that impacts the dense, toxic jungle. Confident in his Yahtza strength and arsenal of hidden weapons, Dek quickly learns Jina is a monstrous ecosystem. The very plants are aggressive, they strip him of his concealed weapons, and giant, sentient vines attack. Dek is forced to hack his way through the lethal flora with his laser sword, every step a brutal battle. Wounded, Dek tends to his injuries and continues his journey, fighting carnivorous, snapping flowers. He soon discovers a girl, Thea, suspended from a tree. She questions his presence. Dek, prideful, announces he is a Yahtza hunting Kalizak to prove his supreme strength. Thea warns him that the jungle he survived was only the lethal entrance to Jina. She offers her guidance, claiming intimate knowledge of the planet and the path to Kalizak, which Dek initially rejects. Only when she confirms she knows the monster's lair does he accept. He lifts her, realizing she is a synthetic, a cyborg fusion of human and machine. He ties her to his back and begins the trek. As Thea reveals she has been stranded for 2 years, a sudden aerial dragon attack knocks Dek unconscious. Thea single-handedly kills the beast, reviving Dek with a pointed, "Do you concede that you need me now?" They proceed, reaching a river filled with predatory fish. Thea psychically calms the waters, ensuring their safe passage. They reach a safer zone. Dek simplifies their bond, tying her to his back with jungle vines. As they rest for the night, Thea reveals her origin. She is a synthetic, created by Earth scientists as a disposable operative for the Kalizak mission, a task too dangerous for humans. She came with her sister, Lisa, but Kalizak's attack shattered her legs and separated the twins 2 years ago. Unseen, Lisa is repairing her robotic body inside their damaged ship, using automated systems, anxious to find her sister. The next day, Dek and Thea arrive at a field of razor-sharp plants, the territory of Kalizak's gigantic guards. A small, monkey-like creature, seemingly a native, offers to guide them, an offer Dek instantly refuses. A monstrous guard attacks, but Dek swiftly cleaves it in two. A second creature, a massive, tentacled behemoth, snatches them up. The small creature bravely saves them by cutting the tentacles, only to be caught itself. Dek, in a burst of reckless heroism, tackles a nearby tree, crushing the monster, and finishes it with a blow to the eye. The three forge an alliance. Lisa, meanwhile, finds the wreckage of Dek's Yahtza ship and deduces her sister is with the alien hunter. That night, Dek and the small creature hunt, Thea does not eat. Dek shares the traumatic story of his brother's sacrifice and vows to avenge him by capturing Kalizak, proving their joint courage to his father. At the same time, Thea loots Dek's wrecked ship, discovering his specialized Yatsa weapons, including a powerful freezing device, and takes them all. Dek and Thea reach a ruined research base, Thea's former station, destroyed by Kalizak. Inside the lab, Thea finds her lost legs. She confesses her manipulation. She used Dek purely to reach her limbs, and admits she knows nothing of Kalizak's current location. Enraged by the betrayal, Dek vows vengeance. Thea, however, urges him to retreat, coldly stating, "I have seen your limitations. You are not strong enough." As Dek storms out, the ground trembles. The beast they sought, Kalizak, rises before them, its mouth terrifyingly large. Dek attacks in a fury, slicing and even beheading the immortal creature, but Kalizak instantly regenerates, its immortality absolute. Finally, Dek tries to subdue it with a chain but is overpowered. In a moment of bizarre restraint, Kalizak sniffs Dek and simply releases him, confusing them both. Thea, who had tracked them down, witnesses the exchange. Seizing the opportunity, she uses the stolen Yatsa freezing weapon to instantly paralyze both the bewildered Kalizak and Dek, capturing them. In the lab, Thea subjects the two captives to experiments, completely ignoring Thea, whose leg reattachment is now stalled. Dek blames Thea for his capture. Thea, happy, gloats that her mother, the lead scientist, will be thrilled with the two alien subjects. Thea protests, begging for Dek's release, but Thea is deaf to her pleas. Dek's escape is secured by Thea, who distracts the robot guard. They learn Thea is launching to Earth, having reported her two alien captures. Dek jumps from the ship just before launch. Dek immediately prepares his own ship for pursuit, determined to recover Kalizak. Thea, furious at the jailbreak, commands her robot army to kill Dek and bring his corpse back, revealing she is also under orders from Earth to execute Thea. Thea, horrified, immediately turns against her sister. Her disconnected legs, still psychically linked, engage Thea's synthetic forces. Thea fights numerous robots before finally reattaching her limbs, restoring her full synthetic power. She prepares for a final showdown with Thea, who enters a massive, armored combat mech equipped with chainsaw arms, easily overpowering Dek. Dek is joined by the small creature, who reveals he is Kalizak's son and seeks his mother. Dek, taking the son, crafts makeshift weapons from the planet's deadliest plants to fight Thea's remaining guards. Overwhelmed by the colossal mech, Dek is cornered. In a desperate, final gambit to save Dek, Thea uses a salvaged robot lens to free the enraged, frozen Kalizak. The monster emerges and immediately attacks the mech, tearing it open and swallowing Thea whole. The battle is won. Dek introduces Kalizak to his son. The monster is overjoyed. The truth is revealed. Kalizak spared Dek because the Yatsa smelled of his long-lost son, proving the behemoth is defined by compassion, not just power. The peaceful reunion is shattered when Kalizak suddenly freezes. Thea, alive inside the monster, used the Yatsa freeze weapon to paralyze him. She breaks free and attacks Thea. Dek attacks Thea from behind, weakening her, and Kalizak's son delivers the final blow, severing her head. With Kalizak deceased, Dek, Thea, and the now-grown monster son return to Yachts. Dek confronts his father, who is still hateful, commanding him to leave. Dek proudly announces his return with two alien captives, demanding his rightful place in the tribe. The father sends two elite Yatsa warriors to kill him, but Dek, hardened by the crucible of Ji-Na, effortlessly defeats them. The father steps forward to fight his son personally. Filled with the justified rage of a betrayed son, Dek defeats his father and runs him through with his sword. The gigantic monster son then bites off the father's head. With the old leader dead, Dek assumes command, finally achieving the respect he fought for. As the Yatsa hail their new leader, an unknown spaceship descends through the atmosphere. Dek smiles grimly and announces the ship's passenger, "That is my mother." The film ends.